rice.
I'm like turn this thing off.
All the way down he would put all the way down the countertop to the real sitting at the very end there.
Uh-huh.
To check out what was on his plate. And Dan goes, what the hell is this? I gotta show my people with the bird.
Look, I gotta show you these pictures. Because I know I've probably did before, but it was just too funny. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, because it's right where he goes to the corner of the counter and he's got meat in his hand.
Yeah.
The dog food. Where is it? We got it around there somewhere.
Oh, he likes that meat.
Oh yeah,
That's
he loves
what he
it.
thinks we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when the girls go into the drawer to get the thing to cut the meat. And that's when he comes over.
So
Or he screams at you.
yeah. Oh, here. Look, he's got it right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he definitely does.
And it's funny too, because he just, I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like,
yeah, and then what it was he didn't want something when I gave him. He didn't want anything to do with it. So I would give it to Polly. And so she took how she got it, she was picking it up and eating it. Oh, that girl comes over and
he steals it. Oh yeah, he does that a lot.
And she's like looking at him.
And I have to give him another one or give her another one. Mm-hmm.
She's so patient with him.
Because she was patient with it.
She was patient with her. But like I said, Noah is just, and he can actually be a good boy because,
Oh yeah.
you know, he starts to bite and you say no,
And he'll
don't
stop.
bite. And he stops. Not Polly, she'll go all the way down. She'll go, no.
She's like, I don't care.
And then,
She will, yeah, she'll take it. Because she went to go after me one time and I was like, it was like she went to my nail like this and she got it stuck right there and she's just staring at me and she wouldn't go any further. She just stood at me like this and I go, Yep, with the tongue.
She's like, you know, I have to like jerk.
Yeah.
It's like she's gonna like.
Yeah.
No. And then she started. And then I started doing that, and then it's almost like she's talking to me. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard that part.
It's like.
Oh my gosh. Like she's sorry or something. Oh, she was abused then? I didn't know that.
The pet store basically said what happened with these people had gotten her from them when she was little. They brought her in to have something done and they had her in a little pen thing this big. She was scared and she was like underweight and everything else. And they just said, you need to give us that bird. You know what I'm saying? They said, you don't want us calling basically animal control or, you know, for cruelty and stuff like that. This is what you're doing to this animal is cruel or whatever. So the thing is that ended up that it was there. And I was telling him, yeah, I got him with me in his hands. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Never bit me. And I'm like, oh, and then they were telling me a story about like this is me. And took my hand out and I was like this and they go, where's this? We don't know how we're gonna find her home. And I get nothing and I go, I'll take her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was a difficult one.
Yeah. All right. Hi guys, sorry. I was listening to a story from my boss. So I wanted you to know I still saw you guys coming in. Okay. Amanda. Okay. So how you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
So are there any questions about yesterday, like that we talked about or discussed that you want to ask? That maybe you didn't understand?
My test is still locked.
What test?
Not the test, but the chapter 11 thing that you were going to
Okay.
have unlocked.
And he didn't do that? Okay, because you know what? He called me again last night after I told him before I left. Okay, I will make sure it gets done again. I'm sorry. I did tell
I
him
don't
right
know.
after
I don't
class.
know. I don't know if it's on my side or his side. I just
No,
know
it's
that
our
it's
side. It's our
Okay.
side. He hasn't added you to that list because there's like a
Okay.
list to group together.
Okay.
That's why. Venetia, were you able to log on?
Yeah, I did my test already. Mine was locked until 6 something, and then I sent an
Yeah,
over.
I know, because he called me at home last night. And he goes,
Yeah.
you have 2 students and they're trying to get in. I go, I told you that this morning. He goes, well, who is the other one? And I said, Athena. And he goes, oh, okay. And so I thought he was going to do it, but he didn't do your. So I'm
Yeah, and I guess they were Relina too. I asked Relina to send Donovan a message.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if she managed to do it.
I'm
or
going
not.
to tell him again, okay, Athena, if he doesn't unlock it, then call him, okay?
Okay.
Send him a message on and say, Donovan, you still have left me. I'm locked out of chapter 11.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. The last one in there. Anybody else have any questions? No?
Did you already uploaded yesterday's Zoom video?
Yes, it should have been automatically.
Okay, no, yesterday wasn't, because I was trying to check a few stuff which I missed earlier, and it wasn't in there.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, I will check that too. Check the Zoom. Okay. Anything else? Trying to get through all of them.
Okay, because I missed my Zoom, the first few smart notes, so I'm just going to double check it if it's uploaded already.
That will be a plan, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, because that always helps when you go back to that, you know, and look at the the notes, review them after the class. There we go, Jasmine.
Does ROP have class today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know, huh? Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But I get what you're saying because we're not closed on this. We're closed on the ones that are usually on Monday, if that's any consolation. Okay, but Isabella. But not in the middle of the week unless it's actually on our schedule. And it should list the days off in the catalog, you know, for the year. I think we are supposed to be closed for like a week at Thanksgiving though. And I think 2 weeks at Christmas. But I will make sure, okay? It's like the week of Thanksgiving, you know, that where normally would have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Well, it's like the whole week.
It's 26th to 30th.
Is that what it said, 26th to the 30th?
Yeah, we get back
I
on
had a
1st
different one.
September.
Okay, hold on.
And then 24th of December, the class finish at noon. And then we get back to school on the 5th of Jan.
Okay, that one's right. I wonder why I had this one out, because they must have like decided not
Yeah,
to do
I
that.
asked Donovan because we were planning.
Yeah, I just had these notes written down for my staff meeting, so I'm like, okay, I didn't get the memo that it was just the 26th now.
26 to 30 years.
Okay, thank you, hon. That's still a pretty good little time, you know?
Yeah.
Karina. Okay, is there a Haley in here? Looks like I did.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you, hon? I'm trying to find, okay. Did you put down you were in class like last week? On a couple of days or something like that? Yeah.
I missed this Zoom call, but I was in the second one yesterday.
Oh, but last week is what I'm asking about.
I think last week I was in them.
Because I don't remember getting your name on there because I got everybody's name as they came in. But I thought maybe you might have watched the Zoom, you know, the tape of it.
Oh yeah, I did. I missed I've missed a couple days for some things, and I've been trying to watch them.
Okay, okay, because somebody goes, well, she has a picture of you, and I go, she could have a picture of me, like, from watching the Zoom on, you know, the actual video record of it. And she goes, oh, that's true too. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't have her in my class because she didn't come into the class. And she goes, oh, okay. She goes, well, as long as she saw something. And I'm like, okay. So it's like a rather giving you credit or not credit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah. And I go, I don't know how that's going to help, but okay, you can use a picture. I'm waiting for a couple more people, and then I'm going to start. It's already 1:06. I guess they're not going to be coming in now that I think about it. Okay. So I got these slides up. Let me see if I can move them over, okay, and share the screen. All right. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen. It should say like Perm Tools.
We can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so basically, we stopped off yesterday on your textbook or your study guide, right? On page 320, is that correct? And we finished the physical phase of perming, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we went through distribute and section,
Yes.
okay? So we're basically at the wrapping part, okay?
Wrapping. Yeah.
Okay, so it's on here. So basically, we're going to figure out the rest of this here. I'm going to scroll through these like review pictures. Okay, this is what we're going to be talking about next is Crocodile, the spiral base to ends and the spiral ends to base. Okay, so you see where that is on your book, the overlap Crocodile. Okay, everyone find it?
Yeah.
Okay, on their study guide, all right, or your little handout that Ms. Sue gave you. Okay, so that first block, okay. All right, what's going to go in there? You have like 3 bullets, okay?
Yeah.
And the first bullet you're going to put in there is it rotates the hair around the tool from the ends to the base. Okay, that's your first bullet. Okay, rotates the hair around the tool from the ends to the base. All right, that's what you'll put in your book. Okay, and basically it's going to be producing like curls that are known as undulating waves. And we'll talk about that in just a minute, but you don't have to put that in there. Okay. The second bullet you're going to put in there, it achieves base lift, strong end curl, which means it's going to be a little off the scalp, give it a little bit of height. Okay, and the ends are going to be really tight. Okay. And then your third bullet is going to be best suited for short to medium length hair. Okay. I'm looking at this actual perm rod and it looks like it's a straight rod, so I really can't explain something until we get to the actual sizes of the rod to explain that a little bit better. Okay, so does everybody get all 3 of those in there? Okay.
Yes.
All right, here we go. We're going to go into the spiral. Okay. And you also have 3 little bullets in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one you're going to put on there, okay, is positions, revolutions of hair next to one another. So it's not on the screen, but you're going to write in there positions, revolutions of hair next to one another. Meaning we're just going to lay them one right after the other as we wrap. So positions, revolutions of hair next to one another. Okay. And your second bullet is going to be creates an elongated texture pattern. Okay, creates an elongated texture pattern. Right, and your third one's going to be is used on medium to longer lengths. Okay, so since we're talking about spiral and crocodile or your overlap method, okay, your overlap method again is like wrapping from the ends to the scalp or base, and your spiral has two positions. It can either go ends to base method or base to ends method. Let's do ends to base first. All right, and that little purple box down there, you're going to put in there, begin at the ends and wrap the hair in a corkscrew fashion. Okay. Begin at the ends and wrap the hair in a corkscrew fashion. And the tool is going to be positioned vertically, okay?
Begin at the ends.
Begin at the ends of the hair is what they're talking about, okay? So like I would take my hair and the very ends of my hair and I would wrap all the way to the scalp, okay? So it's basically telling you we're gonna wrap from the very ends of her hair to the scalp, or they call it the base. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
So the other one now is going to be base to ends. And this one, you're going to begin at the base and then you're going to wrap it around the hair strand. Okay, like the illustration up here, you're gonna wrap downwards. Okay. Everyone understands that? What's going to be kind of fun is how we actually use these different rods to do that. Okay, because there's some rods that are just like a long straight rod, like that picture that you see right there. There's some that actually turn into a loop. There's some that have concave centers on the top picture, or they're straight. So we're going to talk about those next. Okay. So I'm going to change the screen. Let me know if it gets stuck, okay, and you guys, and it's not moving. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about now is the perm tools, okay? And in your book, all you're going to do is write in there. They come in various lengths, diameters, and shapes. What's kind of nice, they're color coded for easy selection of the correct diameter. So those perm rods that you have and see in that illustration are known as straight rods, okay? Just an FYI, because the center is not narrower, okay? When it's narrower in the center, it's going to be a concave rod. Okay, I'm going to give you.
Do we need to write color coded for easier selection?
Yes, you're going to write both of those in that where it says Perm Tools. You'll write both of them. And in your book, it asks you the most common perm tool. Okay, and the rod is, it's a concave rod. That's the most common one. Okay, so concave starts out with like the smallest rod is a red rod. And then it goes into a yellow rod, and then it goes into a blue rod, and they get bigger from different colors. So blue, pink, gray, white, purple, peach, okay? And then in your straight ones, I'm just gonna start up with white, black, green, and orange. They just change the colors, okay? And the difference between them, we're going to discuss and fill in your book. So turn it to page 321. Okay. And we're going to discuss the different types of tools. Okay. Because you're going to get different types of curls with different types of tools. So different diameter perm tools will produce different degrees of curl activation. So this is going to be your responsibility when you do your consult with your clients, okay, to find out what type of curl does your client want, okay? Is she going to want one that looks more like the curl in the first picture on the left? Or does she want the curl to look similar to the one in the middle? Or does she want the one on the end, okay? There's going to be a lot of different types of curls that you're going to have your clients show you. So you're going to have to determine what size rod it is, okay, and my pattern that I'm going to use to get that type of curl, okay? So larger diameter, obviously, they're going to produce like a body wave, okay, or large curls. Your medium tools are going to give you a little more curl than the larger one, and the smaller ones obviously are going to be very firm and small, okay? But let's go into what they will actually do. So your length reduction is going to be altered once you perm the hair, okay? The smaller tools, again, are going to cause the hanging of the hair length to become progressively shorter because it's tighter, okay? So the larger curls are going to be a little bit less curly so that it won't take up as much length. It won't shorten that much. So the relationship between the hair length and the tool diameter will help you anticipate the length reduction you're going to get when you give that client the perm. Because I hear so many clients say, I don't want to cut it, okay, because I already know that it's going to shrink a little bit. Okay, well, sometimes that's not the best choice. They might have to have some of those ends taken off, but you can understand how much would actually have to be taken off, or explain to that client how much shrinkage she's going to have with the tighter curl as opposed to the larger curl, right? These are the illustrations right here. Shows you how much shrinkage is going to be in. All right. Here we come up with your straight rods, okay? So in your little block, or your little bubble there, okay? You're going to put in there these straight rods. They're the most common rod is a cylindrical or generally concave or straight rod. So you're going to put that in that little box, that whole first bullet right there. Okay, and this is actually going to produce curls or waves that are uniform throughout the hair strand, okay? Meaning it's going to be the same, unless it's really long. Unless it's really long. Okay. You're also going to put in that little box, hair on the ends travels the same distance as the hair in the center. So actually you're going to put those two bullets, the first one and the third one, in your block or your bubble on your page, okay? Okay, the only time that will change, I guess, the curl is if there was longer hair, and for every rotation, it might get a larger curl. Do you see what I'm talking about? You have long hair and you keep wrapping it around the same area, okay? Your actual diameter starts getting larger if you have to have a lot of hair on there, okay? So think about that also. All right. Did you still need that? I'm sorry, hon. Did anybody need to fill that part right in? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still filling up mine.
Okay. Sorry, hon. Go ahead. You're only going to put the first and the third bullet in there, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was doing the second one, sorry.
That's okay. Let me know when you're finished.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then we're going to go into, oops, going too far, concave. Okay. All right. Do you see the difference of the diameter of that middle part of the rod? See how it kind of like, it gets skinnier in the center? Okay. So what you're going to put into your little bubble right there is it's narrower in the diameter in the center and wider on the ends. Okay. Narrow in diameter in the center and wider at the ends. Okay, and you're actually going to put all three of these in there. And the hair on the ends travels farther than the center. Okay. It's going to produce a smaller, tighter curl in the center and a wider, more spiraling pattern at the ends. And basically what this particular curl is going to do, it's going to actually, when you wrap this from the base to the ends, okay, it's going to be looser at the scalp and tighter on the ends. Okay, if you think about it, because you're wrapping from the ends, right, to the scalp, and it's going to make every rotation get a little bit larger, right? That middle part, it's going to have more of a natural curl, like if somebody had naturally wavy hair or curly hair, where it's a little looser up here, but as it gets to the bottom, it's tighter. Okay, do you see what I'm talking about? So this is something that you want to take into consideration when you're trying to decide the curl pattern, okay, or the curl size, and which type of pattern you want. Do you want like straight rods all the way down, or do you want spiral rods, or would you rather have this particular curl? Okay. So all of that's going to go into your little bubble on the concave. So it's going to be a different type curl as opposed to that straight rod, all right? Okay, can I change the page yet? Okay, who is that? Okay, I don't know who just came in because it wouldn't give me a name. All right, who just came into the room? Identify yourself because it didn't show up on my screen. Okay. I just want to see who's in the room. Who did I just let in? You need to tell me who you are, otherwise you're not going to be getting credit. Okay, I guess they don't want credit. All right, I'm going to change the slide. Okay. So let's go back. This is going to be on our end papers at the bottom of the page, but let's go back up to where it says Perm Tool sizes. Okay, on your book. All right, where it says larger diameter. Well, I guess I should cover the soft rods for you, huh?
Yeah, there's soft rod.
Soft rods aren't going to be on there because we really don't use them anymore because you can't really disinfect them, okay? Because they're kind of rubbery or foam, okay? So that's why they're called soft rods. They're known as flexible tubes that allow the hair to be wrapped around the length of the tool.
Flexible tubes?
Yes, flexible tubes that allow the hair to be wrapped around the length of the tool. And it's supposed to be giving you the most natural curl, but with those rods, we can't disinfect them because the water will absorb that foam, and then how do you get that out? You know what I mean? How does it get dry?
Mhm.
So that's basically why we don't use them. I think sometimes they were put in the kit and the students were using them on themselves. That's fine, but we're not using them on clients or, you know what I mean? For customers.
Yeah.
Okay. So then go down to your perm tool sizes, all right? And you have the larger diameter. What type of curls do you think that one's going to produce? Larger curls, maybe a wave, right?
Waves.
Waves. Yeah, it's not
Like
going to be a
beach
tight
waves.
curl. Yeah, it's not going to be a tight curl. So what you need to put in there, the large curls produce waves. You can even write body waves. Your medium diameter now, this is going to produce a texture with a little bit faster speed texture, okay? So you can put in there, it produces a texture with a faster rate of speed, or you can write activation, right? Because it's got a lot of business going on. All right, so produce texture with faster rate of speed or activation, and it results in a curlier or wavy hair style. Okay, then you move into your like smaller rod size, okay? And then this one's going to produce really tight, firm curls, okay? That's the best I can give you. It's going to produce the small, fine, firm, tight curls, okay? That will actually reduce the length of it, right? Because the tighter it is, the shorter the length is going to get, correct? Okay. So let's look at length reduction then, okay? Basically, it's when you get a perm texture, okay, it actually changes or gives the illusion of a shorter length is what it does, okay? I can't say that it actually makes it shorter because we're not cutting anything off. It just gives the illusion that the hair is now shorter, depending on how tight that curl is. So you want to analyze the relationship between the hair length and the tool diameter so that you don't shrink the hair as much for the client. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you need to explain to that client she's going to lose some of that length, okay? But it's just the appearance. You haven't cut anything off. So the tighter the curl, the shorter the length is going to be. Everyone understand that?
Yeah.
All righty.
Okay,
All
so
right.
what we need to put where length reduction is, there is, it's
Okay.
written as perm texture is added, resulting hair length will have
Resulting
the,
hair length will have The illusion of reduced length.
Okay.
The illusion is the word. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, because what it's doing, it analyzes the relationship between the hair length and the tool, okay, to anticipate how much reduction is going to be effective. All right,
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right, your end paper techniques, okay, they're used to ensure a smooth, uniform curl formation, okay? So they're used to ensure a smooth, uniform curl formation. That's what I want you to put in the, right next to the end paper techniques, okay? It's used to ensure a smooth, uniform curl formation. Okay, and then you're going to put the third bullet underneath there. It goes, cover the ends of the hair to control uneven lengths or to minimize breakage and eliminate crimps or fish hooks. Do you know what a crimp or fish hook looks like? You might have seen it sometimes if you've curled your hair with a curling iron even. Okay, if it doesn't, the hair doesn't all the way get inside the barrel when you make the curl and there's still some hair out when you turn it around on the barrel, what ends up happening is there's a crease in there. Okay, so that's basically what they're talking about as far as a crimp or a fish hook. And it leaves the ends a little burnt or fried. Sorry. All right. Okay, did everybody get all of that in there? Okay. So you don't even need to put any of those other two bullets where it says it controls the hair ends, because it does. It would be very difficult to, without an end paper, to wrap the hair around a perm tool. Okay, I'm going to give you that much right now. The end paper make it very easy to wrap it. So you want to keep the hair smooth when you're wrapping around that tool so that the curl formation is smooth. Okay. All you had to put in there was the very bottom one on that one. All right. I'm going to change this slide. Okay, and we're going to break down each one of these. Okay, so you're going to start off here with, who is that? Who is this that's trying to get in the room? Okay, it's not giving me a name. That's what I'm trying to ask. Haley, did you just come in? Haley?
I've been in.
You've been in? Okay, I'm trying to figure out who just came in the room. Because it's not giving me a name at all. It's just telling me to let someone in. So if you want credit, you might want to speak up.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So you said you've been in the room, Haley?
Yes, I have.
Okay, just check it. All right, so that first one is a bookend, okay? And we're actually going to put all of that in there, okay? You're going to use one end paper and fold it in half horizontally, okay? And we're going to cover those ends. It's going to control the sections of hair when the shorter tool length is used or selected to wrap the sections of very short hair. Okay, so all of that's actually going to go into that little box down at the bottom that says bookend. Okay, and what they mean by short hair is this. You use basically a bookend for hair that is shorter, okay, in length, or you're using a shorter rod. And I'm telling you this for a reason, because this is a state board question, and because I taught state board, I do know that that's what they're asking you when you're wrapping. You're actually wrapping a full rod, so you would use a full double end paper and not a bookend on this board. Okay, everyone thinks it's okay to do the bookend, but it isn't, because you're not choosing the right paper, end paper technique for what they're asking you to do. That's why I'm trying to get that through your guys' head. All right. So has everybody got this one down and filled in? It's one paper folded in half horizontally, and you're covering the ends. You notice the picture shows you to go a little bit past the ends, right? So that when you wrap it around a perm tool, you're going to tuck that first part in so it can grip onto the rod. Has everyone got this in there?
Yes.
Keep checking on you guys. Did you get it in? I'm gonna stop this for a second. See where you guys are at. You guys all paying attention?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm not hearing anybody but Benicia here, okay? So remember, we gotta participate. All right. When do I use a bookend wrap? What am I wrapping when I use a bookend?
Smaller, shorter sections with a
Yes,
smaller
good,
tool.
thank you. Okay, at least we're listening. Okay, let's go back to the screen. Okay, let me know, is the screen on your screen now? Do you see that end paper
Yeah,
technique
it's on.
still there? Okay, I'm gonna change the screen to the next page. This should be our double flat wrap. Okay. All right. And what you're going to put in there is that it's 2 end papers, one on top and one on the bottom. And it allows for maximum control. Okay, that's all you have to put into that. So what it says here is it incorporates 2 end papers, one on the top and one on the bottom, and it allows the maximum control of the tapered ends. It avoids bunching the ends. Okay. So double paper or double flat wrap technique is what it's called. Okay. And you can't really see it, but about, I would say maybe a quarter at the bottom, okay, of that is where the hair would actually stop. So that you have like about that much, oh, here we go, this much, okay, that is past the ends when you put those papers on, okay. Basically, this is the most common wrap is the double flat wrap. Some people can't get used to it, but once you start wrapping as a double flat wrap, you won't want to do the other wraps because you get used to doing it with the double flat, because it's really going to protect those ends for your client, especially people that have tinted hair or, you know, excess perm that's still left on there. You want to just protect those ends. Okay. Did you get it in there?
So we put only the first one, yeah?
Yep. Incorporates 2 papers, one on the top and one on the bottom, and you're going to put in allows for maximum control. Okay, that's all you have to write in there. It allows for maximum control.
On the top and the bottom of the ends, right? The ends of the hair.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So again, I'm protecting those ends, so I would use it on somebody that has damage or not as healthy hair, right? I like it anyways, just to protect it. All right, can I change this?
Yes.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
our next one's going to be a single flat wrap. Oh, it's cushion instead, huh? All right.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so for the double wrap paper, that's only for like damaged hair, right?
Well, yes and no, okay? You would use a double to protect the hair a little bit more, right? But it's usually the best one to use instead of all the other ones. There's another form, as you can see, it's called a single wrap, where you just place one paper on the top. And it doesn't give it into the illustrations here, but they call it the advanced version of a double flat, okay? And that one's used for healthy hair so that you don't have to protect it as much. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
As far as the double flat, okay.
so you recommend to do a double paper to if the hair is too damaged, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. And I don't know, I'm gonna, hold on one second. I just want to see something here. It's gonna actually give you a single on this.
We do have a single
guess-
thing.
Oh, you do? I would just, no, it doesn't have it on the screen. That's what I was looking at. Okay, so on your single one, this is what I want you to put in there, okay? It's an advanced version of the double flat wrap. And used on healthy hair. And if you're taught this, the double flat wrap, because some freshman teachers like to, I like to teach it when I was doing it, is to use the double flat wrap just to be on the safe side no matter what. Okay, because you are using a chemical that's pretty strong. All right, a cushion wrap.
When you said it,
You said it's
Huh?
for healthy hair, right?
Yes, it can be used on healthy hair, yes, but it also is mainly used on to protect damaged hair, the
Okay.
double flap. But the single one's for healthy. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Sorry, hon.
Okay.
Okay. Before you write anything in the cushion, let me explain something about that one. This incorporates several end papers, and what they basically do is they start with the very ends, a paper on the top and a paper on the bottom, okay? And then as you wrap, you might have little hairs that are coming out. So if you were using it on the bang and that hair was slanted this way and you were trying to wrap, you're gonna have shorter and longer hairs in that same section, correct? So as you wrap, all right, and you pass that first paper, you're gonna lay another paper on top of it so that basically you're going to have a paper all the way to the scalp. So you'll add a paper, wrap to the end of that one, place another one on there and wrap to the end. A cushion wrap is used for like loose hairs, okay, or fragile hair, okay, or shorter lengths within that same section. And it does have a section that might be shorter here and a little bit longer right here, right? So in order to keep that hair in there, that's why you're going to add another paper. I'm trying to get this thing out of the way, okay? So I would actually apply that end paper on my ends of the hair. I would wrap, and it's like mid shaft where I don't have any more paper. I'm gonna lay another paper on there, tuck that under and wrap, okay? So that every part of that strand of hair that I use is going to have a cushion on it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you look at the illustration and you take that rod and it goes up to the top of the screen where the end of that paper stops, that's where you would apply another paper. And then you would wrap it again towards the scalp. So the very ends of it will have one on the top and one on the bottom, and then you will place an additional paper on top of it until you get the whole section wrapped. So basically, it's going to provide that cushion to support the fragile hair. It's going to control the shorter lengths within that section. And it's also recommended for chemically treated or highly porous hair. Okay, again, you're protecting it. So what I want you to write into this section is it's a double flat wrap with additional papers, okay, to protect chemically treated, highly porous, or to control shorter lengths. Okay. Did everyone get that?
To protect chemically treated.
Okay, chemically treated, okay, or highly porous. I mean, the ends are just really short. Okay. And to control shorter lengths.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so then we can turn our page. Okay, and now you're on 322. Okay, come on, wake up screen. There we go. All right, so this is your little alert, all right? And there's going to be something you fill in here. It says, when using multiple end papers, it's important to rinse and blot the hair thoroughly since extra papers hold more moisture than a single end paper. So the word you're looking for is blot to fill in your blanks. Okay, the first one is rinse, the second one is blot. Do you see what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, Corona. Sorry, I'm trying to get that last student in. Hold on, just a second. All right, so this is what I tell the students. Okay, once you apply that solution to the client's hair, after you've wrapped her, okay, and then you have to go and rinse that stuff out. They usually say to rinse for about 5 minutes, okay? As you're rinsing that, you're going to end up blotting the hair afterwards, like pretty much drying it just a little bit, okay? You'll put the towel over there and you start blotting it. There's a process called walking the ladder, and I will tell the students to wrap the towel around, and you're gonna go in between each rod with that towel and grab that extra water that's in there, okay? Because sometimes you don't know how much water is left in there because of the end papers being multiple. or because the hair is too porous. So you're going to walk the ladder and make sure you get it all dry to the most you can for wet hair. Okay, and then you're going to take paper towels and you're going to blot again walking that ladder, because you won't believe how much water is still left in there. Now, water left in the hair before you put that neutralizer on is going to dilute the neutralizer, which means it's not going to lock in that perm curl. It's going to be too loose or it's just going to fall out. Okay, so you've got to get that excess moisture out somehow. So you start out first with a towel and then you're going to use paper towels. Okay, and both of them, you're going to be walking the ladder with that. Okay, do you understand what I mean by walking the ladder?
Yeah.
Okay? Take it each curl at a time. Okay, it's very important that you do that. Okay, so now we're going to go into base controls. Come on, there we go. And base sizes, okay? But just so that you remember what a base size was, and for some reason it's in the wrong place in your book, it starts with base control, but go to the bottom where it says base size. I mean, the bottom of that first section. Okay, and all I want you to put in there is that it's determined by the length and width of the perm tool. Okay, it's determined by the length and width of the perm tool being used. You see where it says base size in your book?
We
says-
have combination of two related aspect of perming size of base in relation to of tool.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I want you to skip the part where it says base control and base and 3 base shapes for a minute, just a minute, okay? I
Oh,
want you to
base
go to-
size completely down.
Yes, there
Yeah.
you go. Okay. So you're gonna put in
Determined
there
by.
length, yeah, it's determined by length and width of the perm tool being used. Okay, so they're basically talking about, if you look at the diameter there, the length of it and the width of that curl. Okay, that's going to determine the size of the curl you're going to get, correct?
Yes.
Okay, does that make sense? All right.
Yeah.
So now you can go back up. Well, we'll go back up to base control in a minute, but the base size is going to be the area between the two partings. So when you part your hair like this, okay, and you take your rod and you measure it on the scalp, and then you take your parting right below that rod, you'll have the correct base size that you need for that particular curl. Okay, so it's basically the area between two partings for an individual perm rod. And it's defined by the base length and width. And it just shows you in that illustration, the length and width of it. Okay, it's important that the base is not longer than the length of the rod being used, because it causes the excess length at both of the ends to be dragged towards the center, meaning you're pinching the hair in, okay, this way. So you have to choose the correct size. That's your section and parting right there, how long and how wide it should be. Okay, no more. Okay, because basically what happens with longer hair, when you start to wrap that and it's longer, you're pushing the hair in this way, which pinches it, and the hair is not going to be evenly saturated to get that curl, or the ends are going to roll off the sides and they're not going to have a correct curl. Okay, does that make sense to you? Do you understand what I'm talking about? You have to actually, okay, I just want to make sure. You're the only one answering. I don't see anybody's answering. You guys are going to have to speak up there. Okay. So before we get into this, I want you to go to base control in your book, right? And it says the combination of two related aspects of perming, right? And number 1 says the size of the base in relation to the diameter of the tool, okay? Okay, you're going to put diameter right in there. Okay. And the second part of that is the position of the tool in relation to the base. Okay, and that's a test question basically. All right. It says refers to, correct?
Yes.
All right, refers to, and you're going to put area between two partings for an individual perm tool. The area between two partings for an individual perm tool. Okay, so then, hi, what you doing? Okay, all right. Then it goes into the 3 base shapes, okay? So you're gonna look at the illustration in your book, okay? And that first one, do you see the base, the partings that they use right there? Okay, that's also known as a rectangle, okay? So that's what you're gonna write right below that first illustration in your textbook or your handout or your study guide, okay? It's used within a rectangle base, is what they're trying to tell you, okay? The second one, it's more of a curvature. Can you see it? And it kind of looks like a triangle, right? The actual section where the rod is.
Yeah.
So this one you're going to put triangular, okay? Because you're going to see a little movement in it, going in it like a radial fashion. Okay, and the third one, oh, you guys are going to love having to wrap that one. Because every student says, I don't like this wrap. Makes a beautiful curl though. All right, do you notice how it's basically a zigzag pattern is what they're doing. One row will go like this, okay, and then the next row will go like that. All right, so they alternate back and forth. So this one's known as a rhomboidal, and it's spelled RHOMBOIDAL. You're using like a rhomboid section, but that's what it's called. Okay, did everybody get the spelling on it?
Yeah.
Madison, you're just looking at me like, I do not know.
I know, I
I
got the
just see this
spelling.
confused face on you, like, what is she talking about? All right, so now we're going to talk about those base sizes, all right? So,
Before we
I-
move to that, I have
Okay.
one question.
huh?
Write down where we did refers to area between 2 parting. There is another thing we need to fill up, also called.
Oh, okay. You can put panel, blocking, or subsections. That's what basically what they're called. Okay, a panel, blocking, or subsections. You're going to hear subsections a lot. Because they'll tell you, okay, go section the hair, and the teacher will probably say, go section it in 9, go section it into 5, whatever she's going to tell you to do, okay? So you
Okay,
go in
thank you.
section. Okay, subsections are going to be partings within those sections. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've parted it in 5 sections, and you've curled, got it flipped all up, right? Then you take down one of those sections, and then you're going to part it again so you can wrap it, correct? That's
Yeah.
known as a subsection, the second
Subsection.
parting, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Did you understand, Madison? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we're going to look at the base sizes. And again, the base sizes are going to be the length and width of the rod that you choose, okay? So if you choose a very large rod, then you're going to take the base, and the section is going to be the same width and length of that rod. So they're known as a 1 diameter base, because you're chewing the same exact thing, right? So you're going to put that in your 1 times base on your book. It's a 1 diameter base. It's equal to the diameter of the perm tool. Okay, you're gonna put that in there also. And it is the most frequently used pattern, okay? So you're gonna put all 3 of those things in there. Okay. All right. Because remember we have base sizes of 1, 1.5, and 2. So we're gonna go through all 3 of them. Okay, can I move the screen? You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This next one is going to be 1.5 times the base. Okay. So that means, look at the picture. Okay. You've got 1 and 1.5 rod there, right? Okay. So when you wrap it, the parting is going to be wider than the roller. It's larger, right? Where the dotted line and the straight line meet, that's your parting. Okay. So it's taking 1.5 rollers, correct? And you're going to put 1 roller right there. That's what they mean by 1.5 times the base. Okay? Because your base is larger than the size of the roller that you're using. Do you see what I'm saying? What it's going to do is it's going to make a looser curl at the scalp. Okay? It's not going to be as tight. All right? So you're going to put in there 1 full diameter plus 1/2. Okay, and that's known as your base 1.5 times. Okay. So it's not going to be very tight at the scalp, okay? That's what they're trying to get at, whereas a 1 diameter base is going to be a little tighter. Okay. So our next option is a 2 times the base, okay? And we're going to have 2 full diameters of the chosen tool. So look what happens now. Okay, now you've got 2 full bases, okay, the width of it, and I'm only going to put 1 rod in there. So I may squeeze that together this way and then put it in the middle. It might lay in the middle of those 2. Okay, do you understand what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
So again, it's going to be a larger section at the scalp and then smaller on the ends and tighter. Okay, do you understand that? Everyone understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And it says basically, does it have a little important down there in your book?
Yeah.
Does it tell you too much hair on the perm tool will prevent the solution from penetrating properly or cause the tool bands to cut into or crease the hair? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. So somebody that had really thick hair probably wouldn't do it, you know, this double on them, because they're going to need it to be able to thoroughly saturate it correctly. Okay. And if you crease that hair, you're going to cause, it's going to be a permanent crease. Okay. So before we go on to that, you're going to look in your book and it talks about the tool position, correct? Okay. And tool position using an on base wrapping technique. Okay. It uses 1 times the base. The hair is going to be projected 45-degree angle from the center of the base. I don't want you to write this just yet. Okay. I'll tell you when to write. The position of the tool now is going to be between the 2 base partings. Do you see the 2 base partings? The part that's curved at the very bottom of there, that green line. Okay, that's your base. Okay. So it's positioned between the 2 because you've got a larger green base, right? And you're going in between those 2. It's going to create the most volume, and it's not recommended for an alkaline perm. Do you want to know why it's not? Okay. The reason why is because the alkaline waves are going to be stronger. So you're going to be pulling a little bit more tension right there. If too much tension, you're going to cause the hair to break. So you might use it with an alkaline, but you're not going to use it for an alkaline base. So what I want you to write in this section, okay, you're going to put in there, it uses the 1 times the base. So that first bullet you're going to put in there. Okay, you're going to put the second bullet in there. Project the hair 45-degree angle from the center of the base. And then it's positioned between 2 base partings, okay? So 1, 2, and 3 is going to go into that on base at the bottom of your page. Okay, so go back up to that tool position right above there, right? And has a fill in right there. It says the tool position refers to the placement of a wrapped perm tool in relation to its base. Okay, so it's base, B-A-S-E. Okay, so basically it's telling you the size of that base and the curl tool that you use should be equal. Okay, if they're not, it's going to give you a different type of curl, right? So did everybody get the rest of that on base filled in there? Right? Okay, so then we're going to go to our half off. Okay. Got a couple more minutes here. Actually, not even. Let's just fill this last one in for the day. Okay. This is your half off base. Okay. And you're going to put in there, it uses a 1-time base. You're going to project the hair 90 degrees from center. Okay. And then you're going to position the tool half on its base and half off its base directly on the bottom parting. So do you see your parting is the green? Okay. And your base is the black. Okay. And you see how that blue circle, which is your curl, it's sitting in the middle of the green and the black. Do you see that? So when it came down on the scalp, it's not sitting within the base where the two black dots are. It's in between the black and that green on the left-hand side. Do you see it? So it's half on the base and half off the base. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, I just want you to understand that, because what it's going to do now, it's going to produce that medium base lift, and maximum, but it blends between those two bases. Okay, and this is usually the one that people like to use when they're wrapping a perm, is this one. Okay, it's a lot easier. On base is going to be too strong and too tight. You don't want to use it with an alkaline, but the half off is just perfect for everything. Okay. So I want you to put all three of those in your little half off base. Okay. So basically a top blue bubble there, okay? It's showing you you're going to pull it straight out from the head, okay? And you're going to wrap it, and instead of coming straight down, which would probably be, okay, on base, you're going to, it's going to move a little bit half off of the base when it finally hits to the base or the scalp. Okay. Sometimes it's really easy for me to do an illustration for you guys to understand that, because it's hard to look at these and understand the illustrations, but a little easier in the classroom. But when you go in tomorrow and some of you in Ms. Michelle's class, she can explain what that means for on base, off base, okay, and half off. Okay, or I can come in and do an illustration really quick tomorrow. Either way. All right, are there any questions today? Because we covered a lot of information. No?
No.
I'll make sure I see everybody in here. No one has questions? You bored? Did I talk too much? Of course you did.
There is one bit where it says tool position. Tool position refers to placement of a wrap perm tool in relation to its size.
Its base. Its base.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Questions at all? Comments, concerns? No? Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, I will let you leave for today. All right, and I'll either see you tomorrow or next week, okay?
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.